Hi guys, so I apologize that my latest two videos, well, this counts as one, are both vlogs. The last one was still beauty related, but this one, I just have to share this story. So this is the story of my weekend. I posted on Twitter if people wanted to hear about it, and thankfully people said yes because I need to share this story with somebody. So, longest weekend of my life. So we just got home from North Jersey. We were in the car for almost 5 hours, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Almost 5 hours. And, so, first of all, I just want to say really quick, I have gotten a bunch of new subscribers this week, and I just want to say welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for subscribing. My weekend. So, Saturday, you saw me on Thursday getting ready for a makeup client on Friday, and then I had the second part of the same gig on Saturday. And so I was there for 6 hours, okay? I did 6 hair and makeup, I think. It was crazy. So I did that, and then my boyfriend came and picked me up, and we were heading to Atlantic City because we had planned this big weekend with a bunch of our friends from Maryland and a bunch of our friends from New Jersey. So we're in the car. No. I'm at the gig, and my boyfriend tells me, like, oh, I broke the zipper on your suitcase. So I just switched it over. I'm like, okay. So then we're in the car, and I'm thinking, like, did he take the stuff out of the pocket? So I ask him, and he's like, I don't think so. I'm like, oh, because, that's only all my underwear, all my socks, and my bras. And, like, we had stuff, had, like, dresses that I packed specifically for that. So I was, like, starting to panic, but we were in the car, and it was in the trunk, and we were on the highway, so, like, I couldn't stop to check. So we get to the hotel in Atlantic City at, like, 9:15, and we didn't leave Maryland until 6. So we get there at, like, 9:15, and I check my bag, and they're gone. So then he goes running out to, like, he tried to find, like, a CVS or something to see, like, whatever. He ended up finding, okay, this is how we know, we were in Atlantic City. He finds a 24-hour lingerie store, okay, and he buys me underwear. He comes back, and they're like, granny panties. And I was like, when you're going to bed or something, there's nothing wrong with that, but, like, are you mad that I'm telling this story? Okay. And, but when you're going to bed, they're fine, but, like, I was wearing a fitted dress, like a tight, sexy dress to the club that night. So I was like, oh, crap, whatever. So I wore them. And he spent so much money on them, like $18 or something ridiculous. So I was like, oh, God. Okay, so then I'm, like, getting ready, and I'm like, babe, can I have my toothbrush? Because he had packed the toiletries and stuff. He forgot it. So we come home, and it's sitting on the counter in the bathroom. Like, everything. I mean, vitamins, shampoo, body spray, lotion, razors, toothbrush, toothpaste, everything. So then we go out, and, like, there's 18 of us going to this club. We went to Dusk, which is in Caesars, if you guys were wondering. And we leave Dusk at, like, what time was it? Like 3? 3-ish. And then we go, like, in Dusk, there's, like, this, like, sandwich dessert place, like, in their lobby almost. So we got food at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and my boyfriend and I didn't drink. Like, I had, like, half a drink, and that was it. So, like, I was legitimately having a fun night, because I don't really like to drink, so I was, like, sober, and I was enjoying everything and everyone's company, so, oh my God, I look so tired. Anyway, so we go back to the room, and the next thing we know, it's, like, 6 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, we had to drive up to North Jersey the next morning. Well, I guess it was the same day. But we had to leave at like 9 because one of his best friends was getting married that day, like Sunday. So, like, of course there was, like, drama. Like, people were screaming because they're, like, drunk idiots. And it was just, whatever. It was quite the night. And then, so, we're like, okay, we'll wake up at 9 and we'll get on the road. And then, like, like, on the road, we'll pick up, like, all the toiletries that we need for the rest of the weekend or whatever. So, we wake up, it's 9, 9:15, 9:30. Finally, at 9:45, I'm like, shit, we have to go. So, we get up, and we're, like, dragging. We get in the car, we go to CVS, we buy every mini size of anything that they had. And we head to North Jersey. So he had to be at the wedding. My boyfriend, because he was the best man, had to be at the wedding at 1. I didn't have to be there until 2:30. So at 1, it's like 12:15 by the time we check in at the hotel. And meanwhile, he had to run to a Kohl's there to get me, like, underwear and stuff because I didn't have anything. So he goes, and I'm like, all right, I'll take a shower. I'm in the shower, like, getting ready, and I'm shaving my legs. And I was doing it so fast. I had a brand new razor. I sliced, if it wasn't, like, in a bad spot, I'd show you, the back of my leg from the bottom of my butt to the back of my knee. Like, I had 2 huge bath towels saturated in blood. It would not stop bleeding. My dress was silverish light gray. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? So I have, like, this towel tied around my leg. That seeps through. Then I get another one. Literally, it looked like a shark had, like, eaten a person in the bathtub. Like, blood was everywhere. It was so disgusting. And I was, like, getting lightheaded. Like, that's how bad I was bleeding from cutting myself shaving. Oh, my God. So then he gets back, and he's like, what the hell happened? Like, it literally looked like I murdered somebody and, like, tried to cover it up. It was horrible. So he's, like, putting Band-Aids on it, and he doesn't get, like, overwhelmed by, like, stuff like that because he's a guy, and he gets down, like, to put the Band-Aids on, and he's like, oh, my God. Like, it's so painful. Like, when we walk from our parking garage to our door, we have to go, like, up a little slant. I couldn't even walk. Like, it hurts. I can't even tell you how bad it hurts. So then he gets ready. I'm, like freaking out because we're rushing. And I'm like, well, I can't, if this gets blood on my dress, like, I'm screwed. So I'm, like, last minute, like, waiting for it to stop. And he goes, and they're like, oh, you don't have to be here till 2:30. I'm like, oh, great, because I rushed for nothing. So, and I had literally, like, I threw makeup on, like, I'd never done makeup in my life. Like, it looked horrible. So I went, when I had the chance to go back, I took it all off and started over. Then we go to the wedding, and so this is a little backstory. So this is Pernell, my boyfriend. This is his best friend, Dale, and Dale was marrying Carla. Carla is pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant. So whatever. So she looked beautiful. She had a regular bridal gown. The ceremony was short and sweet. The party was nice, and she kept saying, like, her dress was heavy, so she thought that, like, whatever, her stomach was, like, feeling the pressure from the dress weighing 1,000 pounds. So, sorry, my screensaver came on. So the whole ceremony, the reception, we're like, all right, whatever, having so much fun. And then it was an afternoon wedding, so it was over at like 8. Pernell and I left at like 8:15. We go back to the hotel, literally because we had 2 hours of sleep the night before. We fell asleep right away. We were like zombies. And we were supposed to go back to the bar and, like, hang out with all of them. Obviously, she wasn't drinking, but, like, whatever. So, we were going to go back, and I was just like, you can go if you want. I don't really want to go anywhere. He's like, no, I'll stay with you. So, we stayed. The next thing I know, it's 8:30 in the morning. Pernell gets a phone call from Dale. He's like, hey, don't bother coming to breakfast this morning. Carla had the baby last night. And Pernell's like, yeah, right. Like, good joke, bro. Like, we'll see you in 20 minutes. And he's like, no, like, I'm serious, Carla had the baby. She was 24 weeks to the day. She was due June 9th, okay? And she had the baby last night at 12:52 a.m. Well, I guess technically today. Like, the baby was born February 20th. So then we're like, okay, scratch breakfast. We're going to the hospital now. So we pack our stuff up. So literally, within 12 hours, they were husband and wife and then mom and dad. Like, are you kidding? So we get to the hospital. Carla, the mom/wife, bride, is like, hi. Like, she pushed out, like, it was one push and the baby was out. So then Dale was like, a zombie, like, whatever. And, we saw the baby. She weighs 1 pound 7 ounces. And she's 11 1/4 inches long. Her name is Cora Rose. She's so cute. Obviously, she's in the NICU in an incubator. They said her heart is strong. She's reactive to, like, touch and stuff. Like, if you touch her or, like, talk to her, she reacts and moves and stuff. But she has, like, literally, like, Pernell wears a size 10.5 shoe. Like, picture a sneaker. Like, that big, and she's so, like, this. Like, this is what she looked like in the blanket. Like, so skinny. Like, my 2 fingers together are, like, that's, like, bigger than her leg. Like, 1.5 fingers. It's, like, the width of her leg. She's so tiny. But she has, like, a tube going into the umbilical cord for nutrients, and then she's on a ventilator. But it's not, like, the kind that's, like, taped across her mouth. It's just, like, a little bit. But, yeah. So, we were there for, like, an hour. No. How long? Like, 2 to 3 hours, maybe? And then we got on the road, and we just walked in at 8:30. So, that was my weekend. Can you believe it? And it was just the craziest weekend. Like, Pernell and I live far from them. So, it was, like, ironic that, you know, the wedding ended, and 15 minutes later, Carla was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And if she had had the baby in June, like, it's not good that Pernell and I would have been able to even come see them. So it was just crazy. It was the craziest weekend of my life. And, like, I don't know if you guys know, one of my friends here on YouTube and Twitter, her name's Tabitha, she, like, sent me a tweet, like, where have you been? And this was before we knew Carla had the baby. I'm like, oh my god, such a crazy weekend. And I thought it was crazy because I didn't have sleep. And here, such a hot mess. So, that's my weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. If you have any crazy stories like that, whether it's from this weekend or the past, leave them in a comment or a video response below. And again, thank you to all my new subscribers, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. And I just forgot one last thing. So, when we were, like, running late to get to the set okay, so my boyfriend thought that the wedding actually started at 1 and that they would be, like, waiting for him. So we left the hotel at 1. And we get in the car and we, like, plug it into the address into the GPS, and we're like, this is a little farther than it should be, because it should have been 5 minutes away and it said 10. So we get there. It was the same address. There's 2 of the identical addresses in the same town. It was 88 Riverside, whatever. And we get to 1, and it's, like, an army base, like, barren, like, nothing around. Like, the grass was brown, like, wire fences. And we pull up, and we're like, where are they getting married? Like, what is this? So then we, like, plug in the actual, like, venue name into our GPS, and it takes us the other way. So that was another hectic experience. So, again, I hope you had a great weekend, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.